Why did they make this so loud? Season of the Deep is here, and with that brings a whole new set of artifact mods and new Strand aspects, along with a couple of really good armor mods that create a whole bunch of new opportunities for build crafting. So that got me thinking, what ways could I enhance the already super powerful Strand PvE build that I've been running on my Hunter, and how can I further push that survivability and lethality? Now, last season, we had two incredibly powerful Strand artifact mods that I was a little bit worried about losing. The two that I'm talking about are Untangler and Threaded Blast. Essentially, they modified your tangles to cause massive explosions, suspending all targets around it whenever you shot it with a Strand weapon. And if you tested that at all last season, you saw just how strong that really was. So as you would imagine, I was a little sad about those going away, but after I started messing around with the new mods and figuring out different ways to implement them all together, I saw just how strong everything really is still. You just have to use it a little bit differently. The first one that I'm speaking of is improved unraveling. This states that it increases the amount of damage dealt by unraveling a target. Pretty straightforward. When you have unraveling rounds on your Strand weapon and you shoot at a target, those unraveling tick damages are a bit higher than they were previously. And the second one is Strand Soldier. This states your Strand weapons gain unraveling rounds whenever you gain woven mail while your Strand subclass is equipped. Now, pairing that with this ungodly ugly exotic, every single time that I grapple, I get woven mail. So as you can imagine, I have those unraveling rounds almost 100% of the time. But here's where things get a little bit more interesting and more cohesive. I'm pairing some of the new armor mods with the fragment Threat of Warding, which gives me woven mail every time I pick up an orb. And that new armor mod that I'm speaking of is Powerful Attraction. So every time that I dodge, I pick up orbs in the area. And when you run two of them, it actually substantially increases the radius for where those orbs can be away from you. So every single time that I dodge, I'm getting woven mail, which is then giving me unraveling rounds, which is then causing additional damage from my Strand weapons when I unravel a target, making it incredibly easy to get multi-kills with Strand siphoning. I'm creating more orbs. I'm also running recuperation, which essentially turns my normal dodge into a worm hat dodge every time that there's an orb in the area, because this gives me a significant chunk of health. Now I'm choosing to run double orbs of restoration, which just gives me a ton of ability energy towards whatever ability I have the lowest cooldown on. You could instead choose to run that with Better Already alongside with recuperation. So you essentially get that increased chunk of health right away from recuperation, but then you also get your health regen immediately with Better Already. I'm also running Thread of Transmutation, so when I do get those kills with Woven Mail active, I'm creating a Tangle. Now last season, every time that I created a Tangle with those previously mentioned artifact mods, I would shoot the Tangle immediately, which would suspend everything in the area, and then I would kill those, and then I get woven mail again, I would kill a new target, that would create another tangle, I'd shoot that. Essentially what I'm doing now is I'm shooting the tangle last to clean up kills and to finish kills. So instead of shooting it as an opener, I'm shooting it as a finisher. And I find it's decently lethal. I definitely would not say that this build is as strong as it was previous season, but this is really the best that we can do now. Now, I'll be 100% honest, this new aspect is super mid. The reason that I'm choosing to run it, at least for now, is that the suspend dodge, every time that you hit that, it dramatically increases your cooldown to get your dodge back. And I'm trying to take advantage of that worm hat like dodge. I want to make sure that I have, as fast of a cooldown as possible. So I'm just kind of messing around with this. I really don't think it's all that good, but it's been fun so far. It's kind of goofy. I don't know. Try it out, see what you like. Now, maybe for the first time ever, I'm choosing to run marksman dodge. In previous seasons, I was heavily prioritizing using the grapple to go in for a grapple melee, which would create a tangle, which I would then use to suspend, which I would then kill. But now that those tangles just aren't as powerful as they used to be, I'm finding that I'm using the grapple in other ways. And so instead of having my gun reloaded almost 100% of the time, I'm using this dodge to kind of make up for that. And then this gives me the ability to take advantage of those new mods in the armor and, kind of mimicking that worm hat. Just a quick mention here, Threaded Spike got buffed and it actually feels really good now. Like in terms of PvE damage, it's actually hitting pretty hard. I've been using this way more frequently than I thought I would. So there's a chance that I switch back to Gambler's Dodge so that I can get my melee back way quicker. But I always have those Orbs of Restoration on the legs to fall back on, so I can still get that ability cooldown pretty fast. Here's a quick look at my mod customization page in case you're wondering what other mods I'm using that I didn't go over. We stream every day but Tuesdays and Thursdays at twitch.tv/strasner. I primarily run Hunter and Strand specifically, so if you're looking for any other options for builds and kind of gameplay there, I'm really enjoying the season so far. I think what they did with the PvE content is actually really cute, and I'm super excited about the new dungeon.